As many of you know, Sunday morning a fire broke out right here behind me, 242 Albany Avenue. It was the third alarm fire, and it killed 3 New Yorkers, Alberto West, Michael West, and Jamil West, 3 generations of one family who were an integral part of this community. This was a difficult and a dangerous fire that drew a massive response from our members and seriously injured one of our firefighters. Today, we've brought you out here to tell you that our fire marshals have completed their investigation and they've determined the cause, and the cause of this fire is a lithium-ion battery. This brings our total number of people killed by fires caused by these batteries for this year alone to 17. This number is staggering and is devastating, and it underlies a problem that we have been sounding the alarm on for some time. At 17 lithium-ion battery fatalities, we are on track to surpass 100 fire deaths this year. That is an extraordinary number not seen in decades. We currently have 93 deaths to date, including the 3 right here from yesterday. The city, our department, the mayor, we have gone above and beyond to address this critical issue. We have passed legislation. We have appealed to our federal partners. We have laid out a plan for future infrastructure. Our fire safety education teams are all over the city, reminding New Yorkers of the dangers of these batteries. But there is one critical thing that can be done today and is not, which is private industry can take action that would immediately save lives. There is blood on the hands of this private industry, both from the online retailers who continue to sell these illegal devices to this day, and from the food delivery apps who continue to think that this problem will solve itself. These illegal, uncertified devices are ticking time bombs. We cannot and we will not stand by while industry does nothing to stem a problem that lies squarely at their feet and that they can do something about today. Retailers like Amazon and Walmart need to stop selling devices that are not safety certified by a national testing laboratory. Food service apps like Grubhub and Uber Eats need to do more to ensure the safety of their workers who depend on these bikes to make a living. As today's news shows, this is truly a life and death situation. Failure to comply with required safety practices will result in blood on your hands, and the fire department is going to do everything in our power to make sure you abide by the law. We cannot stress how important it is to hear from the public about concerns surrounding these batteries. Please call 311 or get in touch with the FDNY, and we will respond within 12 hours of receiving a complaint. We will continue to inspect. We will re-inspect. We will ensure these batteries are being used safely. We are trying to save lives, and we need the public's help. More importantly, though, we need help from the industry. When we're talking to the public, we remind them of the basic safety tips. Don't block your exits, don't charge overnight, don't plug into an extension cord. But most of all, I would like to say, we anxiously await to hear from the delivery apps and the online retailers who we have reached out to and not heard back from. We owe it to the West family to do everything we can to make sure we do not lose one more New Yorker to these devices. Thank you. Questions? He is home and recovering, thankfully.
Mike, well, 1 second. Mike, anything? You good? Go ahead.
Do you have an idea of where in the building the battery was located?
It was in the first floor level. We refer to that as the basement level. These windows right here you can see from the street. It was right behind those windows in the first floor.
I think I'd like to emphasize too, we've said often that the volume of fire we see from these batteries creates untenable conditions, both for residents to get out, but also for members to get in. And if you saw the footage from the fire yesterday, you would see exactly what we meant. There is basically a wall of fire upon the arrival of the first 2 companies.
Can you tell us if the battery was being charged at the time, and have you been able to determine that this was a battery that was uncertified?
So it is too damaged for us to tell at this time. We continue to work with our federal partners to see if they are able to analyze it, but it's extensively damaged. It's a scooter of some kind, yeah.
Was it being used to deliver food? Did someone here work as a...
We don't believe it was, but there's still more investigation to be done.
Is it clear who it belonged to?
I believe so, yes.
We were told that it belongs to one of the deceased occupants, yes.
Is that clear which one, though?
We still under investigation.
Did you recover the scooter itself? And
We recovered 2 scooters from the area of origin.
what brands are they?
Unable to determine the brand. They are stand-on scooters.
Lloyd?
operation of trying to get to all the occupants that you rescued?
Yes, as you can see, this was a very difficult fire with a very tragic outcome. When firefighters arrived, in 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which is a fast response time, there were flames coming out every window and the front door. It was very challenging, but they stretched hose lines into each floor. They knew they couldn't get to the occupants. One of our main objectives is to search for life when we arrive. So firefighters went around the rear and were able to get a ladder up to the 3rd floor. And they were able to get the 2 people out. Unfortunately, not in time. But we attacked this fire from the front, the rear. We do everything we can to get in and save people. With this amount of fire, which, as the commissioner mentioned, is very common with these e-bike devices, where there's no time to get out. They start to smolder, and within 20 to 30 seconds, they erupt into flames. In this type of occupancy, the fire went right up the stairs, which is right adjacent to these front windows, and the people were unable to get out, even under the best circumstances. So it was a very tragic outcome to a very difficult operation for our members.
Was there a fire escape response? Do you know anything about the attempts for the victims to escape, or whether any walked upstairs, or whether they were inhabiting the 3rd floor?
We found 1 occupant on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. There is no fire escape required at this building. There was a setback, which is a 1-story extension that the firefighter was able to get up on and get into that 3rd floor window to help get those people out.
Were there fire alarms inside the house?
That's under investigation. It was so much fire, it was difficult to determine.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Can
Okay,
you
everybody
just
good?
explain the toll that this is also taking on the department? You mentioned that you've done everything you can, and what is the department unable to do because it is responding to more and more of these kinds of fires?
Yeah, so there are 238 of these fires, so imagine that on top of our usual workload. I'd also say, as you can see here today, I think the greatest toll of all is, seeing this death over and over, and these devices defy almost everything that we say about fire safety. Normally our members are able to get in, and when they get here in 3 minutes. Normally a smoke alarm does save your life. Normally, if you buy something online, you do not think it is going to burst into flames in your home. You assume it's safe, right? So I think that's, the real toll is that everyone involved is putting their lives on the line in the case of our members. Everybody who cares about this issue is passing legislation. But the single greatest thing people could do, this is a private home, as are most places where we've seen these deaths. We can't inspect in a home like this, and I would bet very much that the West family thought when they bought this device that it was safe. The single greatest thing we could do is make sure that unsafe devices can't be sold.
Is there a way to, in layman's terms, sort of describe how quickly? So, for example, does it explode and then within seconds, minutes engulf? It's just so hard to imagine just what's actually literally happening.
Yeah.
How would be so hard?
I think that's a great question. I think we all who've gone through fire safety education in school can imagine how we would typically get out in a fire. An explosion is the best way to think about this. If you look at the videos that are on our website, that is exactly what happens. These don't smolder, which is where a smoke detector would typically give you early warning, especially early in the morning where this fire happened. They explode, and the second they explode, there may be so much fire at that moment you can't get out. So even with all the fire safety training, smoke alarms, there may simply be so much fire that emanates from this device within seconds of it catching fire that you have no chance of getting out. And that is not typical to what we teach. It is what makes it so dangerous. We think that's why we're seeing so many deaths from these. And as I said, if you looked at the scooter, you would probably think it's a typical scooter. You would assume it was safe. No one would buy this device if they realized that was extensive, an explosive device. So we're really need to see the online retailers. They can do something about this tomorrow. They don't have to wait for legislation. They don't have to wait for us to enforce.
Is everybody okay?
If people have a scooter right now, what are you telling them to do? Throw it away? I just feel like
Yeah.
doing the math is so hard.
Yeah, the tips that we give are obviously, not to plug it in when you're sleeping, keep it out of the way of any exit to your building. But I would honestly say, if I had one of these in my homes, given how little we know about what the online retailers are doing to make sure these are safe, I would throw it away. I'd put it outside. I will remind people, please don't just put it in the trash. That is dangerous to sanitation as well. They explode. There are safe ways to dispose of them, but really I would say in whatever way possible, you don't want this in your home. You just don't.
Okay. Last question.
Can you remind New Yorkers of what kind of certification that they're looking for when they're purchasing?
Yeah, so they're looking for a sticker called UL. That's the national laboratory here that certifies devices. The legislation that we've called for across both city and federal partners would require that UL certification, but I can't emphasize enough, these have been for sale and are still for sale online right now. And they may even promise that they're UL certified, and there is no way to verify that. And so I would be very cautious about buying one of these right now off of a site that may promise that, but they can't verify that. But if you have one, you look for a UL sticker, it's a little hologram.